Well, first of all, when we got the diagnosis that Brittany had HD, we were all together. And I have to mention her dad, Michael Bosson.
Michael and I were married very young, and I had Brittany when I was 21. Michael was adopted. So when we got married, we didn't even know that this disease was even a possibility for our family. When we had Brittany, never thought anything like this was remotely possible. As the years went by, I started to notice things in Michael that I just found not right. And at one point I said, we need to go to the doctor and figure out what's going on with you, because I didn't know, and Michael didn't know. Then we learned that Michael was positive for HD because it had been on his father's side of the family. And once we learned that Michael had HD, I knew at that point that Brittany had a 50% chance of having it as well. And no mother wants to think about the fact that her perfect child could possibly have a disease that no one knew about. And then that day came. And then I started seeing things in Brittany, much like I did in Michael, after she had Kennedy, our granddaughter. And I took her, and I already knew the results. I already knew in my heart what they were going to tell me. And then I had to sit there and tell her that she was positive for a disease that no one deserves.
Hi. Hi, my name is Brittany Bosson. I am 34 years old. I am now retired. I enjoy every day.
So HD is basically taking over her brain or command center of her body.
Huntington's disease is a hereditary degenerative disease that affects the brain. What happens with Huntington's disease is that slowly the brain starts to shut down. Certain aspects of the brain are more affected than others, cognitively, with balance, walking. Brittany struggles with speech sometimes. She gets frustrated because she knows what she wants to say, but getting the words out sometimes don't always come easy to her.
Sometimes it's hard to understand, why somebody so young and so healthy to get something like this. I mean, this 50-50 chance of getting this bad disease is terrible. It takes, I think, a really strong family and a really strong support system for somebody that's going through like that, and of course you'll always have it.
But HD affects the control panel of the brain, which although she tries hard, she's not able to control her body movement. She's not able to control swallowing. She has now gotten to the point to where swallowing has become an issue for her, and we have to be very careful when she eats, the technique that she uses when she eats to avoid choking. That is part of Huntington's disease.
5 years ago, I was diagnosed. I'm gonna try not to cry. With Huntington. Yes, when I gave birth to my daughter, I found out, but it's okay.
She works her hardest at everything she does, but she doesn't, it's not like she has control over actions or anything. She's doing what she's capable of with HD.
She wanted to work in the medical field. She went to school to work in the medical field, but she just wasn't able to retain the information she was learning. So she was struggling with passing tests, with concentrating, and that just kind of morphed into all of the other symptoms that came to the forefront.
I don't drive anymore, but it's okay. And I use a walker, and when I have to go long places, I use my wheelchair.
Well, what I've learned through this journey is that when someone like Brittany experiences tragedy like HD, a lot of people don't know how to cope with that. They don't know how to be around someone who might be slightly different than the person they knew before. And Brittany cheered most of her life. And there's a core group of cheerleaders that cheered together for years that came together, came over here to support Brittany, show her all the love. And it was probably the happiest day of Brittany's life. If you could have Brittany as a friend, you're very, very lucky, because she has the biggest heart. She is the biggest inspiration to everyone that knows her. She always has a smile on her face, and this girl is faced with challenges every day that no one even realizes. But that spirit of hers never dims. She doesn't let it get her down. She smiles all the time, and we talk about it. We will not give up hope, because hope is what gets us through this. You know, I have a granddaughter that now has a 50% chance of inheriting this disease as well. So everything we do is for all of them. So I encourage everyone to go to HDSA.org and donate to this cause, because there's parents all over this world that you just never know if it's going to be your son or daughter that gets diagnosed with a disease that needs support, needs research, and needs a cure.